All right, hello, rockers, rollers, and metal maniacs. It's the Meista from Brews and Tunes. Bruce, very, very excited today. Oh, nice. Super excited today. I am chatting with the one and only Dutch band Diggeth, of course, hard rockin' heavy metal killer band. If you're not familiar with them, you need to get familiar with them right now. This band kicks ass. So very excited to be chatting with you guys today. I'll go on my left to right and introduce. I've got talking to Natasja, aka Pebbles, who's the bass player. Casper in the middle is the chief, the drummer, and of course the one and only Harald, Big H, on guitars and vocals. Thanks so much for chatting with me, guys. How you all doing?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, great.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
Couldn't be better.
Yeah. Cheers to that.
Yeah,
nothing like a nice frosty brew and talking metal and hard rock. Yeah, that's the perfect day. Well, and you guys were just playing, right? You were just rehearsing, or laying down a demo, I believe, right?
That's right. We just came out of the studio 5 minutes ago. Nice. And actually laid our sixth song on tape for the sixth demo, I have to say, for the new upcoming records we are in the middle of writing.
Yeah, we started actually yesterday, and we had a couple of ideas, that came up, during soundcheck on the tour that we did last year. So we had a couple of riffs and ideas, lying around, and we said like, okay, let's be useful, and start early this year working on the songs and see if we can, get the next album in the process,
Excellent.
Let it roll.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you have a target date for when you want to get the new album out?
Yeah, we're looking at a time window, around maybe September. Roughly September, October, probably.
Nice.
And we're 2 years, after 0 Hour. That would be nice to have it out. We're also looking into, tour possibilities for October, November. We got some, some festivals coming up in early March. In April, some stuff, so we have to get going and make sure that we track the songs around January, February, and start mixing somewhere in March, hopefully. If nothing goes wrong, we'll see.
Nice. I'm really excited to hear what you guys are coming up with, because as you mentioned, 0 Hour in Doomtown came out in 2022. And what a great album that is. I mean, just from start to finish. I mean, that's one thing I've always loved about your band is there's no filler with your albums. It's all just driving, hard driving rock and roll, high adrenaline from start to finish. And that's what I've loved about all well, you have 4 albums, right? 4 full-length albums, I believe.
Yep.
So, started with 21st Century Nomad, came out in way back in 2009, and then of course leading up to 0 Hour in Doomtown this in 2022, and now a new album, which super excited to hear that you guys are in the process. It sounds like you're well into it too, which is great. Great.
Yeah. Actually, because we just finished touring the end of last year, and we're really recognizing all the experience that we played a lot together the last few months, and that's really coming up in the studio right now.
Nice.
Yeah. We did an early writing session about a year ago. Then we came back from the first Europe tour that we did for this album, and we toured actually together with Legion of Doom, which were formerly known as the Skull.
Oh yeah.
And we came back and we started writing some songs and some song ideas, that I had lying around. But we can tell, after this year, playing more and more shows, it's
coming
going
together now.
Yeah, it's going a lot faster now, and there's a lot more feel there. And I just mentioned, when we came out, I said, like, it's going so much quicker. We have to look at each other and we know where we want to go. It's like there's a hidden language. You got it. It's really
feel is there. The interaction is there. The build up of the songs are just what it needs to be. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it seems like, I mean, that's cool to hear, because I mean, you can see, I mean, I haven't seen you live apart from videos of you guys live, and you guys are tight, really tight, and seem to really gel really well together on stage, and just kind of like you, what you mentioned, Big H, is you kind of feed off of each other, and it seems like it's intuitive. Like you don't even have to say it, you just kind of do it, and you get that sense watching you guys play live. That
Cool. Yeah, I know. It's it's a kind of energy field. I don't know how to explain it. It's all your senses are activated. And actually how you put it. You feed off of each other. And I see Natasja doing something cool on the bass, or hear something, a pattern in the drums, and we're like, oh yeah, we could do it that way or that way, and it flows really quickly. I just was thinking this afternoon, like in a split second, it's like 1,000 thoughts going through your head. It's going really, really quick. It's unbelievable.
Nice. That's great. That's really cool. Do you have a working title for the album at this point, or maybe it's too early in the game? I mean, you still write songs, so
Not yet.
That's too early.
Nah, we got a couple of ideas lying around where we maybe want to take it, but it's still in its formative form. I don't know where it's exactly going. We got a couple of ideas, but ask us that again in 4 weeks, then we'll give you a better answer.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay.
What I'm curious about what is the writing process like in terms of songwriting? What is that process like for you guys? Do you come up with a riff, Harald, or how does it start for you guys? Or maybe it changes, maybe it's different for every song, but yeah, kind of what's the writing process for you guys?
Most of the time
It starts with a riff.
It starts with
Yeah.
a riff. 9 out of 10 times it starts out with a riff. And important for me is that I get a singing melody to it, that sticks. And when I have that, then almost at 50% of the song, when that holds together, then you got something. I don't like it to I always call it sticking all kinds of riffs together. But we always try to write a riff, and from there we try to move into the next riff, which is, like a family tree. It's like, oh, this riff is like a nephew from the riff that we played before. And we try to hold the songs together. And when I was in bands earlier, like before Diggeth, it was more like cut and paste. Take that riff and put that together, and the songs, went all the way. And with Diggeth, we try to more like have a little more dynamic thing going on, but keep the riffs a little bit familiar, move on to the next part, which, is locked with the one we played before. And
everything flows into each other very naturally to the next part. Yeah. And after that, there's coming like an alternate riff based upon the first riff or something, or in a different feel, but it's still all connected to each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, it sounds really organic the way it's very natural. That's cool. And I think that's why I think that's one of the things that really draws me to your music is that really organic, heavy feel. I mean, it feels very natural. And like I said before, I'm just watching you guys play live. It looks like you're having a blast on stage, which
we do.
It feels like it.
Yeah, so I kind of feed off of that energy watching watching you guys. Yeah, in fact I use I a lot of times I'll watch videos of you guys playing live while I work out, and it just gets me going. It gets I ride a stationary bike, and just sometimes I go too fast because I'm just rocking out.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Actually, maybe a quote or a little funny story. The singer of AC/DC UK, the band that we toured with last year, actually said one time he got an injury by working out too fast because he was all really
same story
vibing on our music, and he went way too hard on it, and he actually injured something in his wrist or whatever, and he said the next day, oh crap, I really still have it in my arm still while performing the next day.
Was his wrist?
Yeah.
Leg?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. I was thinking what kind of workout.
Yeah, you may have to put a warning label on your albums now. That's like,
maybe.
Meika's injury
Do
from
not use while working out.
yeah, you might get
Yeah.
too into this and hurt yourself. So yeah, that's cool. I love that. If you don't mind, I'd kind of like to take a step in the past, and I was really curious. I'll start with you, Big H. How did Diggeth start? What was the impetus of the band? I know you started the band in like 2004, I think. So
Yeah.
20 years ago, which
Yeah,
is insane.
which is a crazy 20 years ago. We just mentioned that
Yeah,
just before the interview. Casper asked me when the first Diggeth concert was. It was in January 2004.
Wow.
And before I played in different bands, and they were a little bit more like into kind of power metal kind of thing. And I was just referring to the writing process, which in my previous band was completely different. We were like a lot of metal bands, sticking riffs together, and having long epic songs with all kind of sections and stuff like that. And when I started this band, I knew I wanted to do something completely different. I started singing. I already did some backup vocals in my previous bands, but I figured, when I was writing the riffs, I heard different melodies and different stuff. And 20 years ago, I was really, into stuff like, for instance, Lynyrd Skynyrd, and the way they wrote their songs. And I was going like, oh, if you combine that with the heavy Black Sabbath down kind of sound, and you bring that together, you can really make interesting music. So I really wanted to do something different, have more songs, and instead of piling riffs on each other. And I also felt I wanted to keep it simple, just one guitar, bass and drums, and let's write songs with just those little pieces, and not putting everything on top of it. And that's how it started. It really started out with simple riffs, things that stick, stuff that when you're going to work or on your bicycle, that's still in your head. I like that kind of writing, And I'm still a big metal fan. I'm way into, the old Iron Maiden stuff. I love it. But, 20 years ago, I really felt, I want to, take this whole catalog of heavy music, that started maybe somewhere late 60s up till now, and combine all that and have that dynamic, organic feel going on. So that's what happened.
Nice. And I had read somewhere, and I don't, maybe this isn't true, but I had read somewhere that the Diggeth started as kind of a 1 gig thing and then grew after that. Like you had what I heard was that you didn't really have any intention of going forward with it.
That's true. That's true. Because I just when we started, I came of a bigger tour that I
yeah. Famous last words.
Famous last words. But it's true. I mean, I in 2003, I think I came from a tour I did with Overkill from the United States, and we did a tour with them. And my previous band broke up, and I was just looking for just playing some music, and I found some musicians, and we jammed around, and we did a one-off show, and it wasn't even called Diggeth back then. But after a while, we played for the summer and wrote some of the songs which are on the first album, and I went like, oh, this is really cool. This is something different that I did before. So from there, that's the way it went.
Nice, interesting. Wow, that's really cool. Casper, how did you join the band in 2019, I believe, right?
Well, actually, that was my first album I played on, but I joined the band already in 2015.
Oh, okay. Oh, 3 years.
Yeah,
I'll have it.
because the previous drummer got an injury and wasn't able to start the tour. It was just after a couple of months after the album release of
Kings of the Underworld.
Yeah,
second
album. And I was called to stand in for him, and it was like a lot of shows already. I've got 1 week to practice, and we rehearsed 2 times, I guess.
Wow.
And after that was just playing, and we are like after a year or so, it became clear that the previous drummer wasn't able to recover very well and wasn't able to come back as everybody would intend it. So at that point, we all felt it was cool. It matched. I was really amazed that I was playing with Diggeth instead of, because we got a
Being a big fan.
little bit of age difference. Nothing noticeable, but
Yeah.
when I was 13, it was the first time I saw Diggeth live, and I was like amazed. I was like shocked, and I don't know, some 8 years later or whatever, I was called by Diggeth to play with them. So, well, play with Diggeth, and that was really, I don't know, an amazing thing for me to join them and to be able to play with them. And it was so much fun. We really we did a hard time. We had a hard time in the beginning to really getting on top of each other's musical level, instead of to getting to know each other musically and make sure every song would fit in like the way we play it. Well, back then, but still right now. But after a year or so, it felt like really, really tight. And since then, it was, I just became I became a member of the band because it felt so naturally good, or
Nice.
everything fitted really well, and we enjoyed playing with each other a lot. We also started writing some new songs or little ideas working out.
He came in as a very technical drummer. You know, he's the guy who went to music college, to music university. He's got his grades in music, and he's a music teacher as well. And when he started playing with us, you know, it took us some time to, you know, get you a little bit more into the groove. You know, I said like, okay, you know, you're the technical guy, but now we need the groove going. You know, and that took some time to get that together. And since Natasja joined, you know, like, when those two play together, you know, I can do whatever I want to do on the guitar, because there's the train is pushing me, you know. That's really great.
Nice. That's cool. That's really cool to hear. I didn't realize that you were a music teacher. That's really cool, Casper.
Yeah, that's really nice. And it's also really nice to combine, like, I like playing technical stuff, but also I like playing with Diggeth a lot, of course, and that's a whole other level of playing music. But that's a challenge, and also
less is more.
Yeah. Nice. How about you, Natasja? How did you come into joining the band? I know you joined in I think 2021, so you're the newest member, obviously, of course. How did you get involved?
It's over 2 years now. Yeah, I'm not new anymore.
Yeah.
Old. I'm also old. Harald called me for a rehearsal, for audition, and it's as we speak, as we told, it fits. It was okay. It was what they're looking for.
Yeah, our previous bass player, you know, he when we finished, we were still in the middle of recording, actually, of 0 Hour, and you know, and he told us, you know, that it was really difficult for him, you know, to combine his private life with the band and everything, and we played together for a really, really long time.
8
so
years?
Yeah,
18.
18. Played with for 18 years. I also played in the previous band together with him, so we, you know, went back a long time, and you know, but it was apparent that he, you know, couldn't continue, and you know,
different ambitions,
and do touring and stuff like that. So we had to make that decision, and I know Natasja for at least 30 years, I guess, but we never played together. Actually, we played together. A couple of years ago, we played a one-off cover band. We did some Thin Lizzy and Whitesnake stuff, Iron Maiden stuff on some festival together. And I was amazed by her playing and by the way she was on stage. You know, it felt like we were like playing, you know, forever. You know, it was going like, oh, it's like it's always been this way. You know, and back then I thought, if I ever going to be in need of a bass player, I know who to call. You know, and that's the way it went.
Yeah, and so we did.
Yeah.
Nice.
And now I'm here.
Now I'm here.
Yeah, and like I said before, I think you guys really play off of each other well. I think you have a really great sound together, like the three of you. And I love power trios. I've always been a sucker for power trios. You know, Rush and Cream, and I love that power trio. It's such a cool, like you said, it's kind of stripped down and it's really honest, and it's hard to, you know, not that other bands do it, but I mean, yeah, I think sometimes they can hide behind, you can hide behind, like if there's a lot of musicians, it's a little easier to hide. Like with you guys, I mean, like all your imperfections are out there. So, which is far and few between, by the way. But I mean, yeah, just especially live, you guys just have such a cool, tight sound. It's really cool and refreshing to hear just straight ahead rock and roll, hard rock and roll. There's not enough of that anymore, in my opinion. Yeah, so that's cool. So I have a question for all three of you, and maybe we'll start with you, Big H. I was curious about, like, go way back in time. I was curious about kind of how you started in music in the first place. Like, what got you into music, and when did you start playing guitar? Did you come from a musical family?
Actually, no. I mean, my dad was a truck driver, and my mom was working as well. But I had an older nephew, which was 15 years older than me, and I visited him a lot. And he was playing like, that was like mid-70s. I was a little kid, and I was sitting in his bedroom, and he played me his Uriah Heep records and
Nice.
Jeff Rotel and that kind of stuff, and that was, I remember that as an amazing time, because I was a little kid sitting on the bed and my feet couldn't even touch the ground. And I remember that, first Uriah Heep album that he had, very heavy, very humble. And I was going like a kid, like, whoa,
Nice.
This is really great. And I also had a 5-year-old brother who played a lot of music. And I think things changed early 80s when my brother came home with the first couple of Iron Maiden albums. I was in a soccer team back then. I was playing soccer, and I heard that kind of music, and I knew I wanted to play guitar. I was playing at home at a broomstick, imitating Dave Murray or something like that. And we were not from a wealthy family. We were like working class. And I did a couple of chores and some jobs, to afford my first guitar. And I was 14, something like that. And I was in my first band when I was 15. And I never stopped ever since.
Very cool. Oh, I love it. That's great. How about you, Casper? When did you start playing?
I started playing drums since I was 6 years old. And I don't know, music was, as far as I can remember, always in my life already. I actually noticed when there was something, my parents played a lot of music, and I sensed something in it. I don't know, it's something magical, or it always did something to me already at that age. And I was very rhythmic, and also really I was playing on everything, like pans or on the cushions of the couch and whatever. And one time I was at the primary school. I saw a school teacher of mine playing drums, like in the middle of the auditorium, and I was like amazed, like really, I really want to do that sometimes. And I asked him, like, hey, where did you start, or do you know any teachers? And he actually hooked up with his former teacher. And since then, I had my first lesson, and I was like sold. I was like, yeah, this is cool. And already played my first rhythm, and by 2 months, my parents bought me a drum kit, the one I still use to practice here in the studio with Diggeth.
Oh, nice.
Which sounds amazing.
Yeah, already back then we did a good job in buying that particular drum kit. And since then, I was playing all along in the basement where we used to live, and playing with all kinds of music. Started with some Dutch bands, and eventually I grew into the Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, all old school.
Pink Floyd
A lot. Nice. And after that, metal, some pop, some whatever. And also the first Diggeth album I played a lot since I saw them live, and I was playing that first.
They're making me feel old.
21st Century Nomad was the first album I played too, instead of playing with Diggeth.
Wow,
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. That's great. That's like the dream come true. Like, a kid, one of his favorite bands, and then joins the band. I mean, that's like, yeah.
And actually, I had a few, like, I don't know, I don't really do bucket list, but it's like more like dreams and dreaming of stuff. And And the cool thing is, I actually have done like already 90% of those things already.
Oh, nice.
Toured outside of Europe. We played very big venues since where I saw my first really big concert. I was like, oh, I really would like to play here someday. And within 5 or 10 years, we were playing there, and we playing in Diggeth and also a lot of other bands before. It's really a huge adventure, but really satisfying to be able to do that and to have every gig or a musical experience is a big memory for me.
Nice. Very cool. How about you, Natasja? Did you come from a musical family? What was your start in the world of bass?
My brother was a bass player, and I was 14, 15 when I picked him up with, he was playing in a band, and he just told the band that he's going to quit. He wanted to do something else, and I was in the room, and so they said, you're going to play the bass guitar. I didn't have a bass, so I got nothing. So I bought his guitar, and a year later I bought my own guitar, and I had to learn. Never intention to play music or something. No.
Wow.
It just happened. Yeah.
That's wild.
Oh, we need a bass player.
Yeah.
You're but I don't have a bass.
It doesn't matter. You gotta play the bass anyway.
Yeah. So it happened. It was overruled, and I started playing, and this is what's happening
eventually.
Eventually,
Wow.
after all these years. Yeah.
That's wild. That's crazy. You just somebody who said you're playing bass. Like, okay.
Yeah.
But
so we
she
started.
she is a natural.
But she's really
somehow.
modest about it. But she's been playing for at least 30 years, and she played in many bands. You did a lot of cover bands and bands with original stuff, and she definitely toured the most of us of all three of us. Yeah, I mean, I know her for decades, and she's always been playing live.
Yeah. But she's very humble about it.
Very.
Yeah. That's cool. That's great. Very cool. Speaking of touring, I was curious. You mentioned you've got some festivals coming up. Like what? And do you have any other shows? Or do you have any kind of what's on the horizon for Diggeth in terms of live shows?
Well, I think one of the greatest things that's coming, that will be June. In the 21st of June, we will be playing the Maryland Doomfest.
Oh, great!
Yeah, we're really looking forward to that. We toured the US last year. We did a couple of shows in the United States, and that was really great. It was so nice to meet so many people. That know our records. We got an American record label, but it's mind-blowing for a European band, for a Dutch band, when you come over and there are actually people knowing your music. That's wild. And so we were really amazed. We had a really good run, and we were amazed that we were booked for the Maryland Doomfest. Like some classic bands like Surf Angel are playing there. So it's wild. So we're really looking forward to that one. And we just finished the run. We did 30 shows or something since last June. It was one big rush. We played with Mammoth. Of course, Mammoth.
Yeah.
And we also played, with other bands, did a lot of festivals. But for this year, we're really looking forward to playing America again. We're going to book some extra shows. So probably we will. There'll be for a week, maybe 2 weeks. We don't know yet. So, and there's a lot of shows coming up, and how it looks now, it has all been to be confirmed, but we hope to release the album October and do a tour again October, November, December. Nice. So,
Very cool. I was going to ask if with the Maryland Death Fest, if you're going to do some other shows while you're here in the States. That's
we're planning to do that, do an extra run and, see if we can get a good lineup together, and do a couple of gigs with other bands as well, have a good bill. Yeah. So, but we're still, talking about that, and hopefully in a couple of weeks we know a little bit more.
Oh, that's great news. Yeah, come west, come out west, come to the Western United States where I live.
Oh, we would really like to. Yeah,
that'd be really cool. That'd be great. Yeah, you should tour with Spillage. That'd be cool. I know you guys are friends with them, so yeah, that'd be really cool to see a tour with
Definitely, yeah.
Village.
We played with them last year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
That's great.
Tony, yeah.
Tony Spillman. Yeah, the last album is really, really great. Good
Yeah.
album.
Yeah, great
Wow.
stuff. Yeah, I've got that on vinyl. It's excellent.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great band. Yeah, that'd be really cool. I was curious, and you mentioned a little bit, you've all kind of mentioned a little bit with some of the bands, but I was curious about your influences in terms of your musicianship, as far as, guitar playing, drumming and bass. Like, who have been kind of your big influences for you personally?
Wow.
That's a
Probably
lot.
loaded
Yeah,
question.
That's a lot. Like I said, when I started out, it was definitely Iron Maiden that did a lot in those early albums. But over the years, it's so much. I'm really really into Michael Schenker. I like his playing a lot, but I also like Randy Rhoads. But also older stuff. I think Martin Barr, guitarist from Jethro Tull, maybe not one of the most heaviest bands, but he's a great guitar player. I like the way what he does with melody and stuff, and of course Tony Iommi, which is the godfather of the whole everything heavy. He came up with it, but there's so much, that I don't even know where to start. It's so many bands that influenced me back then and now, and every time I hear something, when we played with Legion of Doom, I saw them play stuff. I was going like, oh, this is great, I want to try that as well. So it's ongoing process.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah, we keep renewing our influences all the time.
Yeah.
For me, it's like I said, old school band like Deep Purple, Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, as well as the Beatles. I'm also really into prog rock like Porcupine Tree or Devin Townsend.
Oh yeah.
And as a drummer, Gavin Harrison is a really big influence for me. But also the kind of live vibe that Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin had live. Really the interaction and really play together live, play something unique every time. That's a big influence. But we listen to a lot of the range of musical influences is a lot, and we try to include some parts of it and see what happens. So it's like an ongoing list. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. How about you, Natasja?
Well, I'm joining him, so I don't have what they are having a list of guys I want to perform to, I want to do. So I fill up with them.
Oh, okay.
They have the ideas. I try to fill it in on my own way.
Okay. Nice.
I don't have someone that I want to, how do I say it?
to sound like.
Exactly.
I can tell, that Natasja, has got a lot of, that vibe that maybe, Led Zeppelin and those bands had, with the bass playing, type with the drums. I can really tell that, that you played a lot of that music in the past as well.
Very many years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can hear that, like putting a foundation on the drums, a lot of bass players, they follow the guitar, and you're playing the kick drums,
That's one of the first things I actually mentioned when she had her first audition. Well, Harald was still sound checking some things because we were recording it. Natasja and I started jamming, and at the first instance, he locked on my bass drum. I was like, okay, this is like.
That's playing bass.
Yeah, this is how.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
And it all went. It locked, and it was like super heavy and super.
Yeah.
That
massive locomotive.
Yeah.
Bass player, but rhythm.
Yeah. That's one thing. That's what I hear. I get the same vibe when I listen to Diggeth. Is that kind of that 70s heavy hard rock, Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, that kind of vibe. But definitely, where just a really heavy, like a locomotive train, just rhythm section is, and I love those tight rhythm sections. That's another reason that I'm drawn to your music so much. Oh, that's cool. That's great. That's really cool. Well, guys, this has been an absolute pleasure chatting with you this evening. For those of you watching, look in the description below. I've got links to the Diggeth, the webpage, as well as their Facebook page and also their YouTube page. You definitely want to check out their videos. So much cool stuff on there. There's live stuff. There's great videos. One of my favorite songs is Soul Twister. I love the video for that song too.
Nice.
It's fun to watch. And also get your blood going, and you might ride too fast on your bike, but it's great.
Yeah, and
It's
also
worth
some
it.
updates about the upcoming record and the writing process,
Yeah.
studio recordings, everything will be there.
Excellent.
We're
Very
pretty active also on Facebook and on Instagram. So yeah, you know, check it out. Join us.
Yeah,
yeah,
Keep
yeah,
on
yeah.
digging.
Yeah. If you love, you know, like just heavy killer rock and roll, you know, AC/DC, UFO, you know, bands like that, you're gonna love Diggeth if you've never heard them before. So definitely check them out. So again, thank you so much, guys. This has been an absolute pleasure chatting with you today.
thank you as
Thank
well,
you
Victor.
very much.